So it's been quite a while since I made a video talking about One Piece, and for someone like myself personally, whereas each and every day go by, there really isn't a day that sticks out where I don't see or at least think about the series of One Piece. And to some extent, since this series is so massively big, it's pretty much inevitable to avoid anything One Piece related when you're online or watching and or reading anime and manga. And to me, I don't really have a direct problem with that. If anything, it just keeps me jolting for more One Piece and thinking about the future of this series, whether it be theorizing or discussing current events in the manga. There never really is a time where I get bored of talking about One Piece, which once again is surprising since it's been like forever since I talked about solely One Piece on the channel. And if you really think about it, we are currently over 1,000 chapters within the manga, which is absolutely crazy considering how long One Piece has been serializing for, and considering the time the majority of One Piece fans have been with the series. And to me, growing up in the western side of the world, there never really was a set place for One Piece. The only things usually talked about were Dragon Ball and Naruto, which was cool, but they can never be what One Piece is to me now. And it's insane for myself personally because I know how much longer people have been with this series than I have, and I know how much of an achievement this is to see One Piece where it is today. But just like all good things, they at one point in time have to come to an end, which is surprising to say considering the series we're talking about here is One Piece. But today, depending on however you perceive it as and whatever the title and thumbnail suggest, I think would be a great time to talk about some of the recent events currently circulating within the world of One Piece, and talk about what exactly are we approaching after the conclusion of the Yonko saga, moving towards the final saga of One Piece. So like always, when it comes to these types of videos, what initially comes first is what's currently happening in the world. In this case, it's One Piece, and as of right now, we're most likely in the endgame of Wano, seeing that we finally made it to the top floor of Onigashima, and the battle between the Yonko and a few of the worst generation has begun. And it's looking like we should be closing the gates of Wano soon, but honestly, I don't know. I believe Wano's reaching or has already surpassed the amount of chapters Dressrosa has, being the longest arc in the series so far. So potentially, Oda could be trying to stretch out what's happening in Wano right now, but when it comes down to it, the main course of action has already started, and without a doubt, we're in one of the most important times of One Piece has right now. Considering how long since started, the plan on taking out the 4 Yonko has been in place. And with the fight between the Straw Hats and everybody else versus Big Mom and Kaido and the Beast Pirates, it's looking like this is where things start to change in One Piece more than they ever did before. To myself personally, I could honestly go both ways when it comes to a multiple level of characters dying this arc, but I don't know, honestly, I don't see more than a few because we know Oda likes to save a bit of his characters. But if you ask me truthfully, I think that Kaido has to most likely die in this arc, and as for Big Mom, she is a bit of a wild card if you ask me, but as for Kaido specifically, I can understand if he doesn't die just right now, but I think within time he's gotta die for most of the characters within this arc to find remorse. Now, how that will happen is completely up in the air, and I think that we need some sort of collision between most of the people who are fighting right now, like Luffy, Zoro, and maybe Kid, but like what most people say when it comes to the topic of Trafalgar Law, whether or not he dies within this arc is completely on standby for me. But I do think that for the majority, a lot of the people who are fighting against the Yonko right now won't be standing tall by the end of the battle. And there are so many factors to add on to it, like with the rest of the Big Mom Pirates, CP0, and other parties in Wano. It's going to be pretty hard to predict what the outcome can really withstand in Wano. But when it comes to what I think will occur post Wano, I think for the most part we're at a time now where we can roughly plan out the road to the final saga of One Piece, considering post Wano will be seen as the final saga of One Piece, and I think without a doubt sometime after Wano we will be heading towards Elbaf. Let's be real here. Elbaf is the island I believe has been the most foreseen island other than Raftel within the series. Like if we go all the way back to Little Garden, Elbaf has been mentioned and has been the most built up heavily along the way within the series of One Piece. This arc isn't really something I see as a surprise for the final journey of One Piece. I think it's definitely needed though, especially for Usopp's character to obtain his dream of becoming a brave warrior of the sea. And I most likely see it as the place where we see the final poneglyph being stationed at. And it just doesn't make sense to me that we won't be going here considering the time Oda has and wants to wrap up the story in. So Elbaf definitely is a destination forthcoming of Wano. Now to me this is where things get a little tricky, but after watching theories and rereading over the series of course, I think now more than ever God Valley is one of, if not the final island before the journey to Raftel and the final war on Mary Joie. I just think that an island so mysterious and so intertwined with the previous generation of pirates that happened all of a sudden to be wiped from existence points and erase from all maps is a destination that I see the Straw Hats foregoing along their journey towards Raftel. And who knows, maybe this destination is a lot closer than we think and will be the first stop after Wano. And finally, after pretty much watching enough Tekken and Mirage, because without them I don't think I'd be able to form my own opinion on the matter just because I'm not super analytical on this, but to initially look back on the series and not think that Lodestar Island could potentially be a stopping point for the Straw Hats in the series is pretty ridiculous considering how undergoing the discussion revolving the island is talked about, because we know that this would be a perfect time for the Straw Hats to wrap around Reverse Mountain again through Paradise to meet Laboon and settle things with Brook, to then finally leading into the final voyage where they meet at the Red Line once again after traveling through Paradise through the New World and then hitting Lodestar Island and coming into the final island of the series, Raftel. Now moving towards like post all this potentially happening at the end game of the series, once again obviously there is absolutely no way on this earth I out of all people could come even close to guessing what's going to go down in this final island slash arc of the series, but I think out of compensation towards this video it wouldn't be wrong to at least give my opinion on things that embark on this adventure wrapping up and coming to a close on the final war and the final steps being taken to obtaining the One Piece and closing off the story with everyone achieving their dreams. I think that before all that, once we know for sure we're in the end game of everything, the final arc will occur, and yes, I am on the theory that this collision of the Red Line will lead to all the seas connecting, in doing so creating the all blue. If you guys don't know that theory, I'm not really going to go in depth in explaining it, but leading to an all-out war is what most likely will happen, which will take place on Raftel and Mirage and across all the previous islands that the Straw Hats had been to. I don't think this theory specifically is too far-fetched from what a lot of people in the community already think, but for what it's worth, I think Oda can create this so-called quote-unquote greatest war in manga history, and by doing that, having built up this story he created with characters from throughout the world together at one place and are to be scattered across the globe fighting in this all-out war. As for if I think this war will happen before or after they find the One Piece is completely both-sided for me. There are just so many possibilities that can lead to this final war slash arc to involve so many things throughout the story. In doing so, do I think that the One Piece is something out of the ordinary? Yes. Do I think the expectations are high for what it could be? Of course. But I just think in whichever way Oda decides to handle what the One Piece is and the final saga, of course, is something I'm going to genuinely be happy with as long as there are no loose strings attached. And with everything taken into account, this is simply why One Piece is my favorite series of all time, because of how much Oda can make myself think and how many times I have to think back on the story he's created. But now that we're at this point in the series, my excitement can't contain itself for what's in store for the final saga of One Piece. But as always everyone, to those of you who made it to the end of the video, I hope you all did enjoy the video. This is a video I've been wanting to make for quite a while now, so I'm glad I finally got the chance to do it. But anyways, before you guys leave and click off the video, make sure to drop a comment on your thoughts on the video and let me know your overall thoughts on what you think the One Piece is. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and join the Discord if you have not already. We got the Discord up and running again, so join the Discord in the link in the description box down below. And with that everyone, my Twitter is @AnimeAugie, and I'll make sure to catch each and every single one of you guys in the next video. Peace.